The wide receiver market in the NFL, we've talked about it. It's going well. It's going well for the wide receivers out there. If you are currently the best running back at your high school, learn to catch. Move out wide. The Vikings and 3-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Justin Jefferson have agreed on a 4-year, $140 million contract extension. That includes $110 million guaranteed.
Bruh.
A lot of money.
Also included $88.7 million signing bonus up front.
The highest non-quarterback guarantee at signing in NFL history. Resets the wide receiver market. WME negotiated and confirmed the deal. This all according to Adam Schefter. It's a lot of gosh darn money for a non-quarterback.
It's even more than the highest paid defensive player. Was it Nick Bosa making $34 million a year?
He is now the highest priced non-quarterback in NFL history, Justin Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings. And guess what? It's a little indirect, but this is good news for the Panthers. This is good news for the Panthers. You want the top wide receivers to cost so much gosh darn money because you don't have one. So it's like if other teams are going to have these really good wide receivers, at least make them pay for it. At least make it hit them in the pocketbook. At least make it difficult for them to be good elsewhere with the salary cap. Because if like Justin Jefferson making $35 million per year on his new deal means CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and all these other guys are going to want to make at least that. So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson on the Panthers, but in lieu of that, at least make the other teams pay a boatload for them. Justin Jefferson will average $35 million per year on his new deal. Marvin Harrison Jr. was just a top 5 pick at the same position. He will make $35.3 million across the first 4 years of his rookie contract combined.
Which ain't nothing to sneeze at, by the way.
This is where, you have to delineate between us normal folk and NFL superstars because it's not only $35 million over 4 years to us, but it's only $35 million over 4 years to an NFL GM trying to pay for their roster. I went and looked it up, and obviously this isn't exactly apples to apples because I'm going to talk about cap hit, and we don't know quite yet how the Vikings will adjust the cap hit for Justin Jefferson, but eventually it's all going to hit the cap. The entire 2 deep, meaning the first and second string of all 3 wide receiver positions for the Panthers, right? So 2 outside wide receivers in a slot. The 3 starters and the 3 backups for the Carolina Panthers will only cost $27.4 million against the cap this year. 27.4 for all 6 wide receivers on the 2 deep versus $35 million for just one guy. Is he an awesome just one guy? You're darn right. I'm a big fan of Justin Jefferson. I like watching him play. As a quarterback, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of awesome for J.J. McCarthy to have early in his career. Really good for him. Very excited to see what Justin Jefferson can do on the record books and everything else as a wide receiver. To be worth $8 million more per year than an entire NFL wide receiver room, that's a lot of gosh darn money for one guy. Deontay Johnson, $10 million cap hit. Adam Thielen, $10 million cap hit. Xavier Legette, 2.2. Jonathan Mingo, 2. Marshall, meaning Terrace Marshall Jr., 1.8. Emir Smith-Marset, 1.4, for a grand total of $27.4 million in cap hit. $1 million in cap hit.
And two of those guys you said are $20 million of that.
Yeah. So the Vikings are going to have to get creative. And by the way, they have Jordan Addison, who is a first round, but on a rookie contract wide receiver. So that'll balance out some of it. But they're going to have to get creative to find that money from somewhere. The salary cap in the NFL, I know you can add on void years to contracts, and the Saints for years and years pretended like the salary cap didn't exist. In maybe not a year-to-year basis, but in like a 5-year period, it is a zero-sum game. If you are paying your wide receiver that much, you are paying somebody else less. And like I said, Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb, they have their eyes open. They now know where the market is for a top wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins have their eyes open. They may have thought they were good for $30 million. Now they're going, listen, we're not Justin Jefferson. We're not going to ask for that much to our team. We'll be reasonable. $32 million a year. Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, they now know what a big season this year would do for them as they enter into next offseason when it's the first time they can negotiate a contract extension. You know who else probably opened their eyes a little bit, seeing dollar signs? Puka Nacua. He was just a mid-round rookie last year. And again, if you're a Panthers fan, you're saying all of those guys sound like $40 million a year wide receivers to me. I want Jamar Chase to take all of the cap space of the Cincinnati Bengals. Right? I want CeeDee Lamb to make it so the Cowboys can't have any other playmakers on their roster. I want them looking for Zeke Elliott again in the recycling pile because they have to pay CeeDee Lamb all that money. That'll let better players fall, quite frankly, to the Panthers. That'll let better second and third tier wide. It's like, all right, we don't have that guy, but we can have 6 pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an unbelievable amount of money for one player.
And this is where general managers, including Dan Morgan, obviously being part of that group, this is where they have to get creative in terms of, all right, where are we willing to go cheap?
Once you pay that guy,
yeah, once you pay that guy or those 2 guys, where are you willing to go cheap? That's really the big question. It's like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to have 2 pretty kind of scrub backup tight ends and just hope our starter is going to be good because we have to go cheap somewhere. Or, hey, you know what? We're just going to keep drafting, safeties in the 5th round and just roll out a rookie or, a second-year guy that's super cheap. It may not be as productive because we got to pay these other guys. And that's the spot. You as a general manager have to figure out, what are you prioritizing?
And, the Panthers, obviously, they're planning on and banking on Bryce Young being really good. So you have to depend on a quarterback contract coming up 2-3 years from now. That's a lot of money you have to plan for. But like, let's put yourself in the Bengals GM's position. You've already decided to pay Joe Burrow a boatload of cash, right? $50+ million a year. You're going to have to pay Jamar Chase what is looking like, I mean, even if you talk him off of his most outlandish requests based on the Justin Jefferson deal.
You just paid him the same amount.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could be real stingy and get him down to like $33.5 million per year, which might not only make you the second highest paid wide receiver in the history of the game, but also a little upset at your GM. T. Higgins, you'd probably have to walk. You already moved on from your high-priced running back. You definitely don't want to skimp on offensive line in front of Joe Burrow. The guy gets hurt. You might just have to look at your offense and say 38 points per game or else you're losing because our defense is going to be held together nickel and dime style. That's not where you want to be. But make that be their problem. Right? If you're a Panthers fan, make all the other wide receivers all the money in the world and then hope Xavier Legette isn't asking you for $35 million. Actually, hope that he is asking you for $35 million in a couple of years
because that means that good.
That means he's been that good. But I mean, I don't know, if he has a big rookie year, start planning for it because you got a budget out into the future for that kind of stuff.
Here's a little context for everyone out there. Kirk Cousins got $100 million guaranteed as a quarterback for 4 years.
Well,
Justin Jefferson's getting $110 guaranteed over 4 years.
That's to be the backup quarterback to their first-round pick.
I want to make backup quarterback money. If that's the case, I want backup quarterback money.
I don't know if we should judge the Falcons as this is the going rate out there. They obviously.
But still, like Kirk Cousins signed $180 million over 4 years with $100 guaranteed. Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver is going to get more guaranteed money over the same length of time.
Yep.
And it's funny, they used to play together.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't afford Kirk Cousins, is because
Exactly.
they knew they were going to. That's the decision, right? Go with the rookie quarterback, then you can afford to pay your wide receiver $35 million a year, which is what they're going to have to do with J.J. McCarthy.